Welcome everyone to the new way of me doing my information night. As you're going to see tonight in the gym, it gets very crowded, so I thought I'd go through this a little bit with you from the comfort of my classroom. A little bit about me. I do have a family, so I know what it's like to have kids who have homework and who have struggles in math. I've been teaching here at St. Peter for 6 years, and before that I taught 12 years in elementary at St. Francis. So yes, if you do the math, I've been teaching for a long time. I do enjoy teaching math. My degree was in phys ed and science, and I've been teaching math for the last 6 years. A little bit about what we do in here. So their cell phones are placed in a pocket chart in class that are numbered for them. And we actually tell them to leave it in their locker. It's probably the safest place for them to leave it. If they do bring it in class, it is in that folder. Textbooks, they got them today. They're bringing them home, and those textbooks are to be kept at home until June. This way it avoids them forgetting it at home, forgetting it at school. I do have some in the classroom for them to use, and it's mostly going to be used for homework. You can expect daily homework from Monday to Thursday, about 15-20 minutes. If it takes longer than 20 minutes, what I ask the students to do is tell me that they spend 20 minutes or half an hour on it and just get you to initial it. So even if they're not done, this way it gives me an idea who's really struggling with the concept. But you can expect 15 to 20 minutes Monday to Thursday. When they have tests, those will be announced a week prior. And I'll tell you a little bit about a program that I use just to remind the students and to remind you if you need to remind them. Supplies they're going to need. They are going to need a workbook. It doesn't matter if it's an 80-page one, 200-page, but I do want all their work to be done in that workbook. So as you can see, I said any workbook is fine. It can be a smaller one. As long as they have that, it avoids them losing papers, forgetting their paper at home. And this way, it's the only thing they have to bring home every night when they have math homework. I put pencil there as a supply because in September, they have tons. Come May, they're writing with an orange marker. So just, every once in a while, maybe remind them, do you still have a good pencil at school? Maybe not put 20 of them in their pencil case at the beginning of the year, kind of give them a few throughout the year. A whiteboard marker is probably the most important supply they're going to need. We use whiteboards in here constantly. So if you look at their workbook and you say, hey, I'm not seeing much work, where's the work you're doing? It's because we do everything on a little whiteboard. It makes it easier for me to see their mistakes. It's easier for them if they make a mistake, they don't have to erase everything, they just erase part of it. So any kind of, these Expo ones are good. Even the dollar store ones, I suggest you give them not all of them at once. Again, put maybe 2. Once they wear out, they get another. I don't need my own binder. 2 dividers is fine and combined with any other subject. So the first divider, I would like it to be called notes worksheets, and the second one would be tests. And then everything else will be done in their workbook. They will need geometry set graph paper, but only in December. And honestly, if you take the ruler out of the geometry set and give it to them now, that avoids you having to buy a ruler as well. A 15-centimeter ruler is fine for what we need. Here's the part where you can fast forward a little bit if you don't want to hear too much about this. I just broke down the 5 strands that we're going to be doing. I put some of the things we're going to do. It's not everything, but I did put some of them. On the first report card, you're going to see number sense, patterning and algebra, measurement, and geometry. No statistics and probability, or it's actually probability and data management. On the next report card, the one in June, you're going to see nothing about geometry, but instead you're going to see data management and probability. Communication. How do we communicate, you and I? I have 135 students, so it's really hard for me to communicate with parents on an ongoing basis. So there are 2 things we're going to use. One is D2L, and the other one is Remind. So D2L is going to be the place where your child goes when they need extra help. When you guys are trying to help them at home and they're struggling, you're struggling, go look on there. I've probably put a video tutorial, and those video tutorials are a lot for parents, more for parents than for the children, because as you're trying to help them, we didn't learn math the way they're learning it now. So it's easier if you can see that video and see how it's being taught. I put the information there. I'll show you in a second how to get in, but you can read up on that. I'm not going to read everything. The two sections you're going to concentrate on is the news section, where the homework is posted every night. I try to post every night. And then content browser is where you go get some extra help. Remind is something that I'm doing new this year, and the students got the information today on how to register. It's really simple. You send a text message to a fake number. It's not actually my phone number. And then it lets you set up an account, and you can set up, they can put their cell phone number in there, but I don't have access to those phone numbers. So it's not like I'll be calling the student, and other students don't see other people's phone number. It's very private. And it's just if I wanted to tell them, hey guys, don't forget test on Tuesdays, or don't forget it's SPK day tomorrow, wear this color, or we have an event coming up, don't forget your forms. So yes, I am at work, and those were announcements. Sorry about that. As I was saying, it's very private, and it's just for me to send a quick message, and you as a parent can also register, so you're also getting that message. I promise not to send you a ton, just one every once in a while, just when it's important. Here are some things you can do to help. Okay, so encourage them to do their homework, check D2L. This is something that's pretty important. It's called Homework Help. I'll get them set up on their accounts here at school next week. But it's a free online service. It's teachers at home in Ontario that are just waiting for your child to type in their question, and they're going to guide them through that question, that math homework question. So that's a really good service that's really underused, and it's free. And it's not only for your grade 7 or 8 child, it goes all the way up to grade 10. So that's something that you can actually ask them, and it's on their student portal that I'll show you in a sec. I said get a tutor if you need it. You can always ask student services downstairs for possible student tutors. Extra help from me. I don't do extra help on Tuesdays and Thursdays, let's say. I get the students to ask me, Miss, can I get some help today at lunch? And I do it in a 1 or 2 student scenario. I don't want a class of 20 students who struggled when I taught it to a class of 20 students in the first place. So I find it puts it on them, and then they get that attention from me, that one-on-one attention. And usually within 5 minutes, it's not their entire lunch, I can get them caught up. Best way to contact me, honestly, the phone is the worst way. I have to go to a special phone in the school. I have to punch in a whole bunch of numbers, and I just don't get around to it as often as I should. The best way to contact me, I would say, is the agenda. The other way is through email. So I put my contact information on the next slide. Just remember, I do have 135 students. So if you're emailing me, just make sure it's important that it's not something that your child can tell me. So here's the information for Remind. I will also give a handout to the students. So if you want to send a text message, all you have to do is send this message right here if your child's in grade 7 to this phone number, and then it'll prompt you to put your name down. And if your child's in grade 8, you just send a text message to the same number up here, but you send this message. Just a little bit about D2L. So your child will go on to St. Peter High School. They'll go on the student portal. And right there is D2L. And if they go in this way, they don't have to log in every single time. And they got their login information today. It's the S and their student number and their password. Okay, so when they get in, it's going to look like this. This is my class last year in June. They have to go up here and select their class. So I have a lot of classes. They will have 2 or 3. And then from here, news is always, whoops, sorry about that. News is always where I put the agenda. And then if you scroll down, you're going to see where the content browser is, where the information is. So when they log in, they will only see the 2 first heading, information, basic skills, and maybe number sense. That'll be posted this week. And then you get in there and there are folders. So if they're doing Factors and multiples, I've put it in there. And then here's a video tutorial on how to calculate GCF and LCM. Anyways, I hope I haven't taken up too much of your time. My goal was 10 minutes. I'm at 10:03. I look forward to working with you this year, and I hope that your child has a really good year. Thank you.